Welcome to Pint of Science's 2021 Big Pint Show. When we hold Pint of Science events at pubs around Australia, we ensure that we recognise the local Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander nation, one of many that makes up the continent that is now Australia. And now that we're holding this event online and that our speakers and much of our audience, you at home, are streaming from around Australia, we want to acknowledge all traditional custodians of the country, the first innovators and scientists of this land. I myself am on the lands of the Wurundjeri people, and I invite you to think about whose lands you're on. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders elders, past, present and emerging, and recognise their continuing relationship with the land, water and culture. Today is also National Sorry Day. On our pathway towards reconciliation, Sorry Day on the 26th of May is an important moment to remember the past policies of forced child removal. Here we reflect on the sad and painful history of the stolen generations and recognise moments of resilience, healing and the power of saying sorry.
Thank you, Catriona, and hello everyone. My name's Cale Matthews. I'm the other MC tonight. But first of all, I'm going to introduce Catriona to you all. So Catriona is a singing scientist, and please do stick around because hopefully we get a little taste test of what the singing scientist is all about. So stick around to the end, get a little treat. She's an immunologist at Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity, researching unconventional immune cells in hopes of preventing allergies. She's also the Science Communications Officer for the Royal Society of Victoria and a member of the Science Communications and Discovering Biomedicine teaching teams at the University of Melbourne. So welcome, Catriona.
Thanks, Cale. And now I get to introduce Cale. So Cale completed his honours research in 2018, where he looked into the speciation drivers and evolution of native Fijian bees. There you go. And since then, he's delved into the world of science communication, working with the South Australian Museum and SciWorld, doing workshops with primary and high school aged kids. Now he finds himself as a reporter for Behind the News, Australia's nationally broadcast news program for kids. So well.
Yes, so maybe some of you guys watched Behind the News in your primary school days. We just joined TikTok, so it's big things happening at BTN. Tonight on the show, we have 3 teams of 3 scientists from all across Australia, and I'm going to introduce the teams as we go along here. So on team 1, we have Professor John Howison, Dr. Joseph Carpini, and PhD candidate Shasta Henry. So I'm going to hand over to those guys now. If you guys want to introduce yourselves, starting with Professor John, if you want to start first. Maybe.
John's internet connection is incredibly poor. We've been chatting with him. He's out on the wheat belt in Western Australia.
We'll start with you then, Shasta, I reckon.
Absolutely. I am Shasta Henry. I am a PhD candidate. I'm an entomologist, so an insect scientist. I study insects in the environment, ecology, and also taxonomy. And I am in Tasmania, Lutruwita, Tasmania.
Johnny, you're with us now.
Hello, I just hope we can stick in with this.
Okay, while John's doing that, I might pass over to Dr. Joseph Carpini. Joseph, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do. And you are muted there, Joseph. I might just get you to unmute yourself.
Thank you. You would think that in the pandemic, I would have figured this out by now. But anyways, thanks very much. So I'm a lecturer here at the University of Western Australia Business School in human resource management and organizational behavior. So essentially what I do for a living, I lecture human resources. So if you take human resources, you'll end up with me. And one of my area of expertise is really about people's experience from a psychological perspective of work. So if you're at work, I'm interested in your experience. So thanks for having me along.
So that team is going to be called the Outliers. So team 1 is the Outliers. Now, next up on our hexagonal scientific Brady bunch, we're going to pass over to team 2. So on team 2, we have Professor Neil O'Brien Simpson, Dr. Dwan Price, and PhD candidate Shazad Hathi. So I'll pass over to Professor Neil. You can kick us off with the intros. Now, Neil, you are muted as well. We got 2 out of 2 there.
I think it's because everyone has the mute button up in the top right corner, but as I don't have it, so I don't see it. So anyway,
We'll figure this out by the end of the night.
Yeah, just like Joseph, it's sort of like I should know this by now. So yeah, I'm a chemical biologist, and what that is I make materials, peptides mostly, and nanomaterials to develop those to kill superbugs, so antibiotic resistant organisms, and also develop vaccines for bacteria and also for cancer on that front with my team.
Dwan Price, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what you do.
Hello, I'm a molecular biologist and I research allergies. At the moment, I'm working to look at, say, what kinds of pollen are in the air, when they're in the air, and how they cause thunderstorm asthma. I'm from Deakin University and I love science.
Introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm actually a mathematician, and that's probably, I don't know if that counts as a scientist, but here I am. So I'm a PhD candidate at UNSW Canberra, and I work in number theory, analytic number theory to be specific. So I am interested in properties of prime numbers, for example, and stuff like that. And we have decided to call our team the Blood Mooners because it's a blood moon today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shazad. Of course, you're a scientist. We'll adopt you tonight. We'll adopt you tonight. So, of course, it is a blood moon tonight. So if you get a chance to, peek outside between a round, maybe you catch a sight of the super blood moon. But we'll pass over onto team number 3. So on team number 3, we have the final team tonight. So we have Associate Professor Lauren Ball, Dr. Renee Bartolo, and Dr. Yassine Swilmy. So we'll start with you, Professor Lauren. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Hi guys, my name is Lauren. I'm from Griffith University in Queensland. I am a dietitian and I look at all those other health professionals who you might ask questions about nutrition to. You might go to the doctor, you might want to improve their diet, you might ask a nurse, you might ask a personal trainer or a naturopath a question about food, and our research team looks at how much do they actually know? Is it a good use of their time to be talking to us about nutrition? How can we support them to do a good job with Australians to help them to eat well? So I'm all about food and health, and very excited to be here tonight.
With Dr. Renee Bartolo.
Hi, I'm a principal research scientist with the supervising scientist branch of the Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment, and I'm located in Darwin. Most of my field work happens in Kakadu National Park. I'm a landscape ecologist and an earth observation scientist, mainly focused on using drones, particularly cutting edge drone technology for environmental monitoring And at the moment, we're currently working on developing restoration standards for mine sites using those technologies.
Beautiful. Thank you, Renee. And lastly, but not leastly, we'll pass over to Yassine.
Thanks, Gail. My name is Yassine Sulmi, and I'm an evolutionary genomicist. I use large-scale human genome data sets, both from living humans and from ancient DNA, to study human adaptation to their local environments, but also how to use that information to inform healthcare. Care. I do a lot of work with indigenous people in Indonesia, PNG, and Australia, and we try to help them understand their history, but also help them improve their health. And we decided to call our team the Dead Livers.
Fantastic. Thank you, Yassine. So despite what the slideshow there's, it's going in now as I speak. So team 3, we've got the Dead Livers. So the Outliers, the Blood Mooners, and the Dead Livers. So these teams will go head to head, working together to solve 12 science questions. So we'll have 3 rounds of 4 questions each, and they're covering all of the Pint of Science themes, including Beautiful Mind, Our Body, Atoms to Galaxies, Tech Me Out, Our Society, and Planet Earth. So that's how the night's going to run.
Alrighty. So as for, the specifics and the nitty-gritty of how it's going to run, unlike the general trivia, tonight's questions are going to make you think a little bit more and encourage lots of discussion and problem solving. Kayla and I will ask the questions, and then teams will have about 4 minutes to talk amongst themselves in breakout rooms. And meanwhile, if they say something interesting, we can tune in and have a listen. Teams won't be able to hear other teams' conversations though, so there'll be no stealing of answers. And if teams are really stumped, they can request a hint. These hints will only be heard by the team that requests them, and teams can only request 1 hint throughout the night, so use it wisely. On the other hand, if teams are doing too well, we might be interrupting them with other questions to sort of disrupt them. And we don't want to make it too easy, right? So these are called bothers, and teams will have 20 seconds to answer them. And teams which give the correct answer will be awarded a bonus point, and these are going to be sprung on teams when they're trying to answer other questions. So get it wrong and you've lost 20 seconds and no bonus points. We have also got teams participating from home, yay! And registered contenders were sent tonight's questions 1 week ago. There's more than one. 1 week ago, and they have been working through them in their own time before submitting them yesterday. And we'll be discussing some of their answers throughout the night and announcing the winning team at the end of the night. Once time's up, we're going to ask teams to go through the answers with us. So over to Kale. Kale, you are muted again.
You know what? I'm just going to leave myself unmuted now. That's just embarrassing. Okay, so our first 4 questions tonight are based on Beautiful Mind, which covers neuroscience, psychology, and psychiatry, and Our Body, which includes medicine, human biology, and health. So everything to do with the mind and body. So is everyone ready? Let me just, I'm seeing a few nods, a few thumbs up. All right, let's get into it.
Alrighty, I think team 1 has 1 team player down, but hopefully we get John back. Alrighty, question number 1. There are 2 words that are nearly identical, or at least very similar, across human languages. What are they? And why are they so similar in cultures that have been separated for thousands of years? So off you go.
So this is where I guess the teams will break up and start discussing amongst themselves. And there we go. They're away.
Yeah.
They're discussing.
Team 3 doesn't seem to be in their own room though. There we go.
There we go. They're away. So each team's they've headed off into their little rooms to start discussing some answers. Where would you start with this question, Catriona? What do you think? Pretend you don't know that. Pretend you don't have the answer sitting right in front of you there.
Well, it's so easy to just, say. I don't know. So I know a couple of different languages. So I guess I would kind of think about, all right, in different languages, like maybe in Asia and Europe and here, for example, like what words kind of sound similar when I'm learning them. Maybe that's sort of a good place to start. I don't know. How would you go about it?
Yeah, I think obviously have to look at very similar sounds and possibly also, rather than languages themselves, something that is a constant in everybody's lives in different cultures around the world. So what's something that, regardless of culture or country or where you're from, is always going to be a constant? So I think that is taxi. I feel like I thought that was always the same in every language. At least that's what I was told, is every country. Taxi's the same, but I could be wrong. Don't know.
I'm trying to think. Like, it is taxi in Japanese, so
pretty close.
Yeah, pretty similar.
Should we check in on some of the teams, maybe see how they're going about it? Possibly.
Are we going to be magically thrown in with a team?
We might. You never know. So I can see in a few different teams at the moment what's going on. So we've got
this is team 3.
Just showed up.
there we go. We're in. So we're going to listen into team 3 and see what they're coming up with.
So
I take issue with the question.
So we can see hungry. We can see mama.
We lost her in the
food,
during the transfer.
Sick. Food's pretty universal.
But so I'm just wondering,
you're
saying if this question actually is the way that you pronounce those words are nearly identical.
So what do you reckon? Do you think they're talking about food in general, or like maybe particular types of food?
Might be pronounced.
Yeah, maybe particular types of food, but I don't know
that's
what
actually a good,
type
very
of
good
food,
question.
because I feel like it's going to be something that you
I think
say
maybe it's
or
your
learn early
interpretation
on
that it's like
in
mama
your life, if it's going to be universal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Mush,
What they
that's a
say
first
here, they are
food, isn't
so
it?
similar across cultures.
Smushed food.
Oh,
Smush food, yes.
Cool.
Smush food is the same in every language.
Yeah.
I think
I wonder if that team was.
well,
We've
there's
moved.
Mara and
Because I was
Mara.
wondering if that
We've
team
moved
was also
teams.
hungry, like, because it's dinner time, right? Because they were just like hungry food. Anyway, yeah. All right.
Possibly, yeah. They might have just been
Darcy.
typing that before we even got to the questions.
All right. Oh, the circled no.
It's
We've got
not
some
a straightforward one.
Yes, no.
Yes.
I feel like,
no.
yeah.
You probably
I'm not sure if
say
yes and no are there
Across many
answers,
languages
or whether
that are almost identical each time.
whether
Team
or
one.
not.
Oh, and I
Okay,
see
so
that John's back in. That's good.
John
I
has
think I watched a
joined.
TikTok video.
We
on
can
it.
see them talking, but we can't actually hear what they're saying, which is always a little off-putting. So I don't know if you can read lips very well.
No, but it means that we can say whatever we want, and they have no idea what we're saying about them.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, right. It's sticky notes. I was thinking that they're not putting stuff
Yeah.
down, but everything's in sticky notes. Okay. Got it.
So I'm just seeing down the bottom of their left screen is insects don't talk. So they're really drilling into the important stuff in the question there. Is well, maybe they might have thought we said all animals amongst the animal kingdom, and they were.
So I
really
said
trying
human
to work it out.
languages. So
Well, there you
they
go.
can't challenge that with like insects and other animals don't use the same languages as us.
So I reckon there's a few more minutes here while the team still work it out.
No, we've got one member of group 2 back. Oh, and lost them again.
How essentially information is processed.
Yeah,
I don't
agree with
know.
you. I agree with you. I think it's good thinking.
I feel like we might get points for just like speaking with authority and like having a really good theory behind our answers.
Yeah. I mean, you're the psychologist, but yeah, confidence and charisma.
You know what?
I have seen that in lots of different cultures at the playground.
Yeah.
That seems to be universally understood.
Yeah, so I'm not sure
Something
what
about food. Is there some word that is associated with food, like babies go like, I want food.
Yum yum.
Yeah. Well, yum. It could be yum. You know.
Yeah.
No.
Should we go yum and mum?
She said she's here. Does that chat just stays with us, right?
I have no idea. So
it's just our chat.
We could be just giving the answers to everybody else.
Right? No, but it says like the chat doesn't have other people in it, so maybe it's our own private chat. Lauren, did you have any thoughts on this? Love the mama and papa idea. Must be something like that.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everyone's starting to come back in.
There we go. We're slowly getting people filtering in. The discussions have ended. Maybe we get someone back early and they quickly blurt out the answer. No, they're all good. They're all switched on. They know what's happening.
Above us.
There we go. Our scientific Brady Bunch. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic first discussion and you came up with some interesting answers. And I hope all of those answers are locked in because I'm about to read out the answer.
Do we get them to tell us what they think the answer is first?
Possibly we get them to tell us what they think the answer is. Is that a good way to go about it, do we reckon?
I'd say so.
Yeah. Otherwise, they could just say what we've said.
Yes, no, I've got the all clear. All right, team one. Team one, let's start with you guys. So, team one, what did you have as the answer?
We're going with yes and no.
Yes and no. Interesting. I'll pass over to team two now. So, team two, what did you guys get?
We had about 8 of them. No.
Well, whittle them down,
thought
please.
We thought Ma might be one, and we thought no might be another one, and ha, like exclamation like that, so like huh.
So
like,
what are we locking in? 2 words. 2 words.
What do you think? Ma, definitely Ma. We'll agree on that one. And what do you think to ha? Then, yeah. Oh, crikey. I don't know.
I just want to point out that in your answers, you've given us words, but part of the question was also the why. So you're also going to get a point if you get the why. So.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, we have a why.
Well, I'll leave that with team 2. So we have got Ma and Ha.
Yeah, so Ma because it's one of the first sort of sounds a baby would make. that are common across languages. No was another one that we thought, and ha, we thought ha because it's a common exclamation type thing, and no because it's a commonly used one. But again,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right, I'll pass over to the last team. Team 3, what have we got?
Well, Kale, we got a similar answer to Team 2, but not 100% similar. So we got the word for mother and father, so mama and dada. And the explanation we came up with is that they are linguistically some of the easiest sounds to make and the least energetic, that requires the least energy to pronounce for a baby.
Awesome. Well, thank you, guys. I reckon Team 3 is probably the closest there. Out of all of the teams, Team 3 is probably the closest. I'm going to leave it up to the behind-the-scenes guys to work out if we're giving away dada. But the answers I have here is mama and papa. So mama and papa. So let me explain for you guys. The flat R sound, so like a baby would make, is very easy to make. So babies can do this very early on. Then by closing our lips, it's easy to break up the R with the M, so meaning ma, and then P, being papa. So mama is the first caretaker, usually mum, and then the next closest gets papa or baba. So papa, baba, mama, papa, and that's kind of how you get it. There are other answers to this question that can receive points. So examples T or cha are similar across many languages because the product in the word was exported from different parts of China, but I don't think anyone did have T or cha. So there you go.
There was one team talking about food, but I guess not close enough.
Yes, very true, very true. But that's your first question. We'll treat that as a little warm-up. We're all finding our feet in the quiz now. I think we kind of get what's going on and how it all works. So I think it's about time to move on to question 2. So, question 2. Who is this? Or, more specifically, what does he represent? So, who is this? Or more specifically, what does he represent? Is that, it's small on my screen. Is that Thomas Edison? No, I'll let you guys discuss. It even looks like Homer Simpson.
And they are all off again.
Away they go, slowly into their rooms to discuss who that rather odd-looking figure is.
Kind of reminds me of, like Mr. Potato Head or something.
Yeah, it definitely looks like something from a early, like, ABC Kids cartoon sort of thing. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like a Mr. Potato Head, something like that.
When he's like, oh, I'm Picasso.
Or it's maybe like I don't know what that accent was. I was going to let it slide. It looks like a Wallace and Gromit. Who's the guy that does Wallace and Gromit?
Oh, yes.
Maybe if he had like really bad writer's block and was like, I don't know, just put a massive head and some massive hands and we'll roll with that. Be a really good baseball player or like a cricket player with big hands like that. Probably wouldn't drop any catches. All right, we're going to go to Team 1 now and see what they're talking about.
Insult, like troglodyte.
Yeah. So I think we have this one. Who is this, or more specifically, what does he represent? Well, we've nailed this. I feel confident in this answer. Good old homunculus man. Yes.
Should we
Hermit the homunculus. I love it.
oh no, that's great. I was like, it's even gender neutral. It's got her and man. This is fantastic.
It is perfect. Herman the homunculus. And basically it's all about sensory information and the most sensitive portions of the brain, right? So we collect the most information from our hands, And if we were to like put something in our mouth, we get a lot of information from that. So as opposed to like the sensitivity you have on your feet. So feeling something with your foot is very different from feeling something with your hands.
Yeah, I guess so.
The
It's
amount of
pretty
information.
impractical to have sensitive feet.
For us though, but at the same time, if you're like a chimpanzee or something, that uses it a lot more, right? So I think there's some evolutionary research around essentially like
I never
how
knew
textile
I wanted
their
to
toes are.
Google, like bonobo homunculus.
Bonobo.
This is gonna really mess up my search algorithm.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. How much of the internet are we allowed? Because that first question, absolutely. I was like, oh, they're absolutely right. Mama and Papa
Yeah,
is
it made really
one of
good
those. Yeah.
She loves the name, and go us.
I mean, we have sport we have international sport now.
Yeah, my brother, who's
Alrighty, we're
also
in
watching,
Team
he's
Two
in
now.
the UK. So,
Oh,
yeah. So pretty cool.
Nice. So again, going back to the first question, I thought they wanted us to say the two most common words across cultures. It wasn't clear to me that we could have just said two words, you know, because then there are like lots of words that would be common across cultures.
We were like from another planet and we saw that.
Well, to me, it's about body parts. So oversized brain, oversized tongue, and
Little brain
hands.
and oversized hands, yeah.
But I think
He
But-
represents the five senses.
touch, sight, taste. Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea, Lauren.
Yep. Yes.
Do you wanna present the story, Lauren? Because I feel like if I keep going talking, it's gonna look like
Touch, sight, taste.
yeah.
What's the fifth one?
Touch,
Touch,
sight,
sight, taste,
hearing,
and smell, isn't it?
smell, and there's taste as well. Yeah, you got taste already.
So you guys were there just listening in on a few of the team discussions. There's some good things happening. They were talking about something based in evolution, and I saw people talking about senses and that sort of thing. What do you reckon, Catriona?
I don't know. You mentioned Wallace and Gromit, and now I'm thinking of Louis. Is that the name of the
Yes,
the artist?
Lunic. Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, that's a good representation of that. You know, it
But
would be
yeah,
a good way to throw all of the scientists is have a really big science quiz show, and then second question in, we just hit them with a cartoon character.
Yeah, here's
I
some
don't think
art.
they'd be expecting that. Yeah. Don't know if they'd be expecting that one. But yeah, some good discussions happening in there. I think a lot of the teams seem to be on the right track. I'm just sort of checking in on their whiteboards that I can do here, and it seems like everyone's kind of on the right track. So I think we'll probably come back and have our big, large group discussion and our answers revealed in a sec. All right, so we are slowly coming back in here. I'll hand over to Catriona.
Alrighty, we'll just wait for everyone to pop up. But looks like Team 2 is back. Team 2. Alrighty, I think most people are back, but Team 2 seems to be complete. So maybe we'll just jump straight into Team 2. What do you think the answer is?
It's homunculus, and the reason why it looks so weird is it's all the sensory nerve endings and the number of them going to like the hands, lips, and all that type of stuff. So it's how many nerves are going to particular parts of your body and the senses of that.
Okay. It's a pretty solid answer. What about team 3? What do you think? Anyone from team 3? There we go. You're saying, yeah.
I think Lauren was going to speak about this, but I don't know if we're getting her.
Lauren's on mute.
Lauren's box or hexagon is also not visible.
So taste, his nose, smell, his ears are big, that's hearing, and obviously eyes is sight. So we reckon he's representing the 5 senses in the human body.
All right. So you seem pretty confident in your answer as well.
We are so confident.
Alrighty. Now team 1, what do you reckon?
So Joseph knew this one first and foremost. I had heard the term homunculus before, but I thought it was just a convenient insult for at conferences when you're being polite with other scientists. But I have learned a thing. Homunculus is the description of that graphic, which is the visualization of the relative importance as humans experience their senses. We named him, or it or they, Herman, the homunculus, and wrote them a little Tinder profile. They have large hands to hold your heart, and a big tongue to be able to tell you when the milk is going off, but relatively small ears. They will never hear your instructions, but also none of your farts. So you win some, you lose some.
Thanks, Shasta. Well, I'm glad you learned something. I learned something looking into this question as well. I actually think that this one's the man, and then we're saying that we're missing the female brain version. But I think all teams, you were pretty much on point. Shasta and Neil have explained it really well. But yes, you are correct. This guy this guy is the sensory homunculus. So thought to be originated, at least in this sort of 3D model form, by Dr. Weil Penfield, as I was reading into. So there's the sensory and the motor homunculus, or homunculi in plural, and they show a deformed human figure that illustrate the proportion of the cortex in the brain related to each body part. So I think, Neil and Shasta summed it up really well. So well done. I think all teams pretty much, got what was being represented here. Okie dokie. So moving on to question 3. This person, and I assume we're going to get an image, this person here, yep, has carotenemia. So explain the condition and its cause. So we'll let you go off. Shasta's sort of blowing in the wind there.
She was just casting a little spell to send her off into the room. So there we go. Is carotenemia just being out in the sun too long? Because that's a bit what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a tan. Yeah.
Yeah. A bit of a terrible tan. like one of you're applying too much fake tan and it just goes a bit orange. We're going to throw over pretty quickly here and just catch up with what the teams are doing, because you guys don't want to listen to us.
Carotene as well would be another one that would do that as well.
Anemia is the lack of iron, right?
Yes.
Because of which you can't carry enough oxygen because your hemoglobin percentage is a bit low.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that though.
No, I do know there's no, what was it? There's you can turn yourself a particular color by eating some fruit and veggies and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering
Orange
whether
things.
it's orange. Well, yeah, go orangey things. So there we go.
Orange things.
So,
Seriously,
orange
my
things.
kids
So
were yellow.
well, there we go. There we go. It's too much eating sort of beta carotene.
Yeah.
Loaded veggies.
I mean,
like
I poisoned them with healthy things.
Yeah, that's good.
So I poisoned them with love. But yeah.
It's not like twisties. It's not like too many twisties.
No, it's because the carotene's in the plants. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has to be the actual natural fresh food.
Right.
I mean, you're probably having a pretty healthy diet. It's just a little too healthy.
Yeah. Well, a little bit monochrome.
Yeah. Exactly right. No, so I'll be able to help with this question, but then the other questions I'm just going to be hopeless for.
So, like,
you've done well
you know,
so
people that eat heaps of carrots for their eyes and stuff as well, like they can get like that vitamin A thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, John has got it in the yes. I agree. Carotenoids are pigments often found in carrots. Actually, they're found in lots of things. It's what makes snow gum eucalypts so intricately patterned when you get color under the eucalypt bark. John is John is joining in valuable post-it notes.
I love this. This is my favorite. I feel like we have a guardian angel.
So would this be just who is your guardian angel? Oh, his name is John.
Yeah.
He's an agronomist from the wheat belt. Yes, orange post-it notes would be far more appropriate. So yeah, I think we're honing in on the idea. So is this kind of akin to when you get what I would call beetroot fear, which is when you eat a bunch of beetroots and then your bodily fluids look like you're dying, but it's actually expelled. It's expelled pigment, and so is this carotenemia.
Okay, it seemed like everyone was pretty on top of that one.
Yeah. I think, everyone sort of jumped on the word.
Yeah, and I would have seen the word and thought, nah, that's a trick question. It's too obvious. But no, everyone seemed to put two and two together there, which was good. I think it was Team 2 saying, should we answer in orange post-it notes? Which is
no, that was Team 1.
Team one,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
The outliers. Yeah, it's very appropriate as we all come back into the main room here. So slowly bringing everyone back. Well, it's a bit like a beehive as well.
Was it not mind and body?
Now
you've got me scared, Joseph.
You said Brady Bunch.
Why'd you have to say that at the last minute?
The hive makes sense. As they all filter in slowly. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Just waiting on Team 3, the dead livers. There they are. They are back. Alrighty, I reckon that is pretty much everyone. I'm not sure if we have John, but we are going to start with Team 1. Team 1. This person has carotenemia. Explain the condition and its cause.
Okay, I'll jump in. So we essentially believe that carotenemia is coming from essentially carotene, which is the beginning of that portion. So what we're going to say is that essentially a person suffering from carotenemia, is unable to excrete carotenoids after ingestion. So essentially when you eat food that has a particular pigment, you're unable to get rid of that or expel it. And essentially then it appears in your pigment. So kind of similar to what happens when you eat beets. you know, we all know what happens after, and that's for people who are healthy and can take care of those particular pigments. But otherwise, you might turn purple as well. We'll like to lock in that answer, please. Thanks.
Locked in.
Locked in orange Post-it notes.
Thank you, Team One.
John really led the charge on this. John is with us on our Jamboard and very active in the Post-it sphere, not so much in the video sphere. And as the ag scientist that he is, yes, carrots was first on the list of culprits.
Perfecto. Thank you, Team One. We'll hand over to Team Two now, the Blood Mooners. If you guys want to give it your answers.
Sure, I will. I'm going to say it's kind of similar to Team One, and I actually found this out the hard way because I thought I had poisoned my babies when they were very little because I had turned them orange through too much love. Essentially, I fed them too many orange veggies like pumpkin and sweet potato and carrots, and they turned orange. So I dashed them to the doctor, which is where I learnt about carotenemia, which was an excess of beta-carotene in the blood.
Beautiful. Thank you, Team Two. I'm just kind of putting a few things together here. Does that mean Oompa Loompas just eat carrots? I think I'm going to say they do.
I did have a tiny Oompa Loompa for quite a few weeks.
Same as Donald Trump.
I don't think
just carrots and pumpkin soup. Team Three, do you want to take us away?
Well, I think the other teams have beaten us to our wonderful, perfect answer. We are on the same vein as those guys. So too many carrots or pumpkin or sweet potato or oranges will do this to you. You can turn orange in many different ways, but we would like to advance upon their answer by just clarifying. Point of difference for you is that you can't turn orange from processed orange food like Twisties, Doritos, corn chips. It's got to be actual foods that have the carotenoids in them. So there you go. Can we have some bonus points for that?
I volunteer to find out for certain.
Awesome. Thank you, Team Three. So there you go. For those listening at home, don't eat veggies, just eat Doritos. That's what we're hearing here. But yes, you all got the answers absolutely correct. Carotenemia comes from eating too many carrots or foods high in beta-carotene. So you said a lot of them there, carrots, squash, pumpkins, all of those sorts of things. So when high levels are consumed, not all of the beta-carotene is converted to vitamin A, and then some circulates through the bloodstream instead, causing yellowish tinge to skin, mainly soles and palms. Bit of a trade-off for being able to see in the dark when you eat lots of carrots. All right, so we're going to move on to question 4 now. So, question 4. You're not dead until you're warm and dead. What scenarios does this phrase allow for? And please explain. So, you're not dead until you are warm and dead. What scenarios does this phrase allow for? So, all the teams are going to break off into their rooms, going to have a bit of a chat, and they're away and off they go. I've never heard that saying. Is that a saying?
Yeah, and I would have thought a dead body's pretty cold, so...
Yeah. There you go. I think we'll go and we'll join the teams pretty quickly here and see what they're discussing.
Just waiting for the magic to happen.
Possibly. Do we have to do the spell like Shasta did before?
I didn't actually understand.
There we go.
What was being said? I'm waiting for the thing to pop up.
There is a it's like a medical that's the dragon fruit, Christmas Island dragon fruit gin. That looks fantastic. Totally as an aside, dragon fruit has got to be the single most disappointing fruit.
I know. On that bit.
I was thinking of like if you can cryogenically store someone, then when they're very close to dying and then they don't die, and
yes,
then when you actually take them out and then they become warm and then they die. But I guess
it's when you're cryogenically frozen to the point of minus 273 degrees Celsius, which of course is 0 degrees Kelvin.
You're not
And
dead
so
until
you're
you're warm and dead.
your atoms aren't vibrating and moving, so you can't actually be dead yet. You can be brought back.
Wow.
And then die when you're at, you got to die when you're actually, when your cells die. And the cells can't die when it's just frozen. What do you reckon?
Sounds like, yeah.
And you'll never believe what happened next.
Yeah.
3-year-old Jennifer saw her father leaving for work in the morning, the cold, dark winter's morning. She wanted to go out to the garage. What would
Kind of like if you've achieved the temperature of life, 37 degrees, and they're dead,
we've just moved
then they
across
truly
to
are.
team 2. We'll let them discuss.
Yeah. Yeah.
As
But it
opposed
could be-
to being cold
Yeah.
and dead.
Yeah. Which means it couldn't be originate from like the tropics, really, could it? So it's got to be.
It must be a
the
modern thing.
Northern. Yeah.
Modern
Has
or
to
like
be.
modern medicine.
Modernish. Yeah. Yeah. Or modernish. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that makes sense because your heart rate could be super low if you're hypothermic and therefore look dead.
I'm going to try and tell you, scene.
Yeah, so cryonic freezing.
Can you hear me, Yassine?
So if you're put on cryopreservation, you're not pronounced dead until you're warmed up and really they can resuscitate you on the other side. Is that
Yes.
true? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. No, that's a very good answer and a very good scenario.
Okay, looks like the teams are going to be thrown back in. All right, team 3 is back. So, team 3, what do you think the answer is?
Oh, you're not going to ask us in front of everyone?
We're just spin things up. Let's go. What's your answer? So, what do you think this means?
Renee, do you want to have a go at saying it?
Yep, I can have a go at saying it. So, when you're if you're cryonically freezed, so like right down to minus 273 degrees Celsius, you don't have cell death, but so you're not technically dead, and to be dead, you have to be warmed up so that you have cell death. Is that correct,
Yes.
Lauren?
Tell us the answer. Tell us the answer.
All right, team.
And
Sorry?
And-
Were you going to add to that answer?
Yeah, we're gonna have to,
and then it said what scenarios
Yeah.
does this phrase allow for, like space? Is that like we've just got some other ideas there that you can preserve a body
Renee, I wrote a
for the
couple.
future?
Renee, I wrote a couple things in the board, on the jam board.
Yeah, I was. Do you want to? Yeah, I was just picking those up. You've seen, but you can
Excellent.
talk to them.
So it's basically if we preserve someone in preservation, they're not dead, and will allow us to have long distance space travel, where things take centuries to reach, Beta Centauri or Alpha Centauri, or other stars, other systems where life might be sustainable, and then we can resuscitate the astronauts once they reach their destination. Or if someone is suffering from a condition for which we don't have a treatment now, we can put them on cryo until there's a treatment available in the future, and then we can resuscitate them.
Nice. It sounds very much like, the basis of Futurama.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now the question is, do
sci-fi
you want to wake up in 300 years where you know nobody, and technology has moved on so much? I don't know.
Well, Fry made some friends. Alrighty, team 1. What's your answer?
I knew this one, and not because of science education, but because of hyper-dramatized American television. So this is a medical truism. If you go into the ER as a very cold, dead corpse, fallen into a lake, fallen asleep in the snow, and you appear dead, you cannot be declared dead until you've been warmed back up to human body temperature. I was attempting to make a Princess Bride reference, because when you're cold and dead, you're only mostly dead, which means you're partly alive. And the scenario which that refers to is Jennifer's father went off to work one cold winter's morning. Little Jennifer wanted to go and say goodbye to him. She went out the front door of the house to the garage, but he'd already driven away. When she got back to the front door of the house, though, it had closed and locked behind her. She fell asleep on the doorstep and she froze to death. But when they took her into the ER and they warmed her back up, Jennifer came back to life.
Lovely monologue.
That's brilliant.
Thanks, Shasta. And team 2, you're not dead until you're alive, and you're warm and dead.
Yeah, we similar to what's been said, we thought hypothermia, and you sort of obviously originating from the northern climes or cold areas, and the fact that you have to warm someone up because your body temperature, if you're cold, your body temperature goes down, obviously, and you go into hypothermia, your heart rate can slow down to quite a lot. So you wouldn't know if someone's beating, could be down as like 1 beat every 20 seconds and stuff like that. So you'd have to warm someone up on that to make sure that they're dead.
Yeah, I think all 3 teams have sort of hit the nail on the head here. So yeah, essentially we're just looking for someone experiencing hypothermia, someone being cold. So whether it's cryogenic storage or you're experiencing hypothermia in the environment, because you're all absolutely right. It's possible for people to come back to life once their body temperature does go up back to normal. And that's because extreme cold causes metabolism to slow down. And so the brain needs less oxygen as well as blood flow to stay alive and be alive. So well done, everyone. So that's it for the first round. Scores at the end of round 1 are Team Outliers on 7 points. And then we have a tie between Team Blood Mooners and Team Dead Livers on 9 points each. So keep it up, everyone. The next round is based on Atoms to Galaxies, which covers physics, chemistry, maths, and astronomy, and Tech Me Out, which includes biotechnology, robotics, and computers. So over to Kale for the question.
Cool. All right, let's dive straight into things. So the first question in round 2, which is question 5. Statistically speaking, are there better numbers to pick when playing the lottery? So I want you guys to have a chat in your teams and give us some whys and some reasons why. Off they go.
Yeah, I wonder if, once we hear their answers, is it time for us to go out and buy some Tats Lotto tickets?
Yes, I think so. I think that's really the safe bet.
Yeah, so we'll wait for the scientists to tell us what to do.
That's it. And I think it's 7 lucky 7, and then the rest is up to the scientists.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go and check in with their rooms here. As we join the outliers now.
Can you still hear us, John? We might have.
Oh, I don't see his little name popping up under you like I usually do.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I have absolutely no idea. I feel like I should have paid more attention in probabilities. Interesting. Are there better numbers to pick up in the lottery? Uh-oh.
I feel two ways about this. I feel like logic says, I feel like logic.
I thought we were concise.
Yeah.
For scientists.
Yeah. I was going to correct him over the carrot thing.
Certain numbers that come up more frequently than others. Just like there are sequences
What about
in time.
if it's like odd numbers? Like odd numbers, do they come up more?
I don't think so.
Because, you know, when you play the pokies and you go red not dead or evens and odds, like I know that's a chance, but I don't know, I feel as though odd numbers would be more. That's not a good scientist. I feel as though odd numbers.
I'm a bit
I
stumped.
don't know,
I want to say there's no statistically significant different numbers, but surely that's not shouldn't everyone know that? Why is that even a question?
I know,
I
right?
think-
I think we should go with no.
Yeah, I think
I
it
really
might
have
be.
no idea. I don't know how to explain it. I'm wishing John was here because I'm also feeling like that would be useful. But I feel like based on probabilities, there are slightly better ones. But I'm also assuming that's not going to get us full points. So statistically, are there better numbers to pick when playing the lottery?
Would have a bias towards particular numbers. So unless they change their software, I think you would, for a particular lotto thing, there would be favored numbers, but it wouldn't be huge percentages like 2.
Alrighty, teams are coming back in again. Looks like we've got team 1. So team 1, do you want to start giving us your answer to what you think about Lotto numbers?
I could count in a straight line and miss, so I will defer to you, Joseph.
Oh, lovely. I'm just going to say, based on probabilities, the answer is yes, there are some better numbers to pick. And for simplicity, I'm going to leave it there because they've asked us to keep our answers short.
Alrighty, thank you. Team 2.
Yeah, so what we thought about this was that if the random number generator that they were using was actually random, then there would be no preferred numbers. But if they were using a pseudo-random number generator and they kept using the same pseudo-random number generator over and over again, then maybe you could have some numbers which have a slightly better chance of winning than other numbers. So it really depends on how they're choosing the numbers that win the lottery. And in reality, you know, there is no truly random number generator. So most random number generators are pseudo-random number generators. So yeah.
Everything is rigged. That's what I'm hearing. Alrighty, and team 3, what's your answer?
Well, our answer is no. Statistically, there are no better numbers than others if you're playing the lottery on your own. But there's one scenario that I can think of where the answer could be yes, is that if other people are picking certain number preferentially, and those numbers happen to be the winning numbers, that means that the winnings will be split. And so those would be lesser numbers statistically to pick in the lottery, if they happen to be the winning ones. But generally speaking, no. I agree with Shazad about the fact that there are no true random number generators, but no serious lottery in their right mind will be using the same pseudo random number generator multiple times in a row.
Is it too late to say that we agree with Shazad as well?
Well, remember that we could all see your jam boards as well, so you know you can't just jump onto someone else's answer. But yeah, well, our answer here is that no numbers are more likely to be drawn, but there are numbers where if you win, you're more likely to win more because you don't have to split the prize with anyone. So, i.e., top tip for all of you watching at home, pick the least used numbers. So, not birthdays. So keep your numbers above 31, not number 7. Kale, you mentioned lucky number 7, but clearly you shouldn't pick that one. And not last week's numbers. Yeah, so there are our top tips for if you're going to go out and buy a ticket. Alrighty, thanks everyone. So moving on to question 6. All right, question 6. If I asked you to work out how long a roll of toilet paper is, but you weren't allowed to unroll it, how would you go about measuring this? And you are allowed to know or measure one sheet from the roll, but that is it. You can't unroll it. So we'll let you go off into your teams and discuss how you're going to try and measure this roll of toilet paper. If you can find toilet paper, like in Melbourne, it's all gone in the shops again. Need to be able to measure it to know like how much I've got.
Well, maybe that's what all the panic buyers are doing. Is we should give them the benefit of the doubt. They're just getting toilet paper to work out this particular puzzle.
They all registered for the Pint of Science show, and they got the questions, and so they wanted to test it themselves. Yeah, great.
Exactly. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we might throw it to your
And then
team.
the other way of doing that would be to measure the depth of the sheet, I guess would be the term. And then essentially you would measure the entire thing to figure out how many sheets are supposed to be in there, right? And then multiply it across.
Yeah, it would be some very ugly equation that would equal, I mean, hopefully, and maybe the sassy answer is to just read, read the back of the packaging that tells you that tells you how many squares there are.
So we could do the 2 answers. She said you could do that one, and then you could say, but if you buy 100 sheets per roll, and you can measure one sheet, there you go.
Yeah.
I think the Victorians should answer this one since we fought the most over it.
I don't know. I don't know how to go about talking about Shazad's just so.
Nah, Shazad, you've got this answer covered. 2 scenarios. The lazy scenario is that you've bought the primo, and what if it's 3-ply? You need to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Are you a cheap?
Sorry, not 12-ply. Let's say whatever. Toilet paper packet.
Should we throw our hand up for our hint? I mean, I don't know how we.
I don't even know what the other categories are. I feel like the pain is just beginning. And how long is this session?
It's gonna last forever.
It feels that way. Although I think they're speeding up our turnaround time, so that might be happening more.
Yeah. Kale, we don't know. We don't know.
One person down, man.
We're not numerate people. Where's Dr. John?
So I've been stitched up here, I feel, because we have hints for each one, and then this one just says hint if requested, and then it's left blank.
No.
Awesome. It's a crap hint for a crappy question.
Goddamn mathematics. Goddamn mathematics and their evil wizard language.
But you won't be scored. There's no one answer, basically. So the more creative there's lots of different scenarios you can come up with.
We got that in the bag.
And so the more creative you get, this one is pretty subjective. So if you guys come up with a nice creative answer and you can you can explain your answer, then we'll give you a point.
Okay, love it.
We're
But
so
hold
here
on.
for that.
Am I allowed to read out what the people at home said? Directors, MCs,
Oh,
just to give them
We've phoned a friend.
get the
and a
ball
scientist.
rolling,
We're friends
kind
with
of thing.
everyone.
Haha, get the roll rolling.
Basically, the people at home looked at ways they could measure the thickness of the toilet paper itself, and then come up with ways of
multiply it across.
Because multiply it across, and different ways of doing that. So
Yeah.
hopefully that gets some ideas.
Yeah, we figured
spinning in your heads.
there's a formula that you could enter it into that would account for the diminishing ratio, the rotation of the roll. Probably something in R.
I've been told it's time to come back. So, but I like it. Keep just saying those things. You good?
Alrighty.
And welcome back. Okay, so let's start with Team 3 this time. Team 3, take it away. What's your answer here?
Well, there's an approximate numeric answer for that, which is I got a formula on sheet number 2. If you can look at it in on our Jamboard, there's like page number 2, and it's essentially pi, which is the Greek letter, the 3.4, etc., divided by 2 times the number of rings of toilet paper around the roll, and that's multiplied by the outer diameter of the roll plus the inner diameter of the roll. Or you can just read the toilet or you can read the packaging and just find out how long it is.
Both great answers. I have all Team 2 now. Team 2, roll us through your scenario. No pun intended.
Yeah. No, we also had a cheeky answer, which was that you just find out how many sheets of rolls sheets is this supposed to have, and you multiply it by the length of the individual sheet. But then we also had sort of more mathematical answer, which was, so you assume that the toilet paper roll is a cylinder, and then you look at the cross section. So the cross section will be an annular disc, because there is a hole in the middle, and then you have a disc, and so you can calculate the area of this disc, which is if the outer radius is capital R and the inner radius is small r, then it's pi r square minus pi small r square, and then you divide it by the thickness of the individual sheet of toilet paper, and using that you can get the length.
Awesome, nice. This is all coming across as a different language to me. I'm not taking any of this in, but Team 1, take it away.
No, yeah, entomologists here for the loss. Apparently, I am here to comfort our audience that you can be a scientist without knowing practically anything about mathematics, because we just I trust numbers. I know that you could fit the measurements of the length of the sheet and potentially the depth of the sheet into some beautiful, elegant equation that would account for the diminishing rotation of sheets around the spiral. It's probably got something to do with the golden mean and the meaning of life. But hopefully you can stand in the aisle while you fight for the packet of toilet paper, and just it will tell you how many sheets are in a roll, and not have to do the meaning of life or the golden mean or anything else.
Beautiful. Thank you, Team 1. So basically for this one, there's no one answer. We'll accept anything reasonable. We wanted, something creative and that. So we'll let the behind the scenes overlords work that one out. You're seeing your team gets 5 points for Team 3. Well done. We've got 5 for Team 2 as well. And we're still waiting on Team 1, whether they got any points there. I'm sure there's a 5 waiting to happen. 1 for one team. Sorry, team 1. You only get 1. Hey, I don't make the rules, guys. Don't yell at me. It's the behind the scenes people giving you 1 there. So the
that question wiped you out. That question wiped you out, team 1.
But the behind the scenes overlords have said that they like your acknowledgement that you don't need maths to be a scientist, which is absolutely true.
Exactly. Team 1 got 1.
Worth 1 point, apparently.
So we do have an answer from winning team playing along at home. And they said, I would probably grab a piece of string that has the same thickness at the height of the one sheet and try to coil it in a manner similar to the roll of the toilet paper. And then once I've rolled it up to something that resembles the toilet paper roll, I'll unroll it and measure it. So that's a pretty creative answer from the teams playing at home. So well done if that was your team at home. Our behind the scenes people said, stop bullying us, please. No, we won't. Sorry. Question 7. We'll move on quickly here. So question 7, which will come up on your screens in just a minute, is why does invisibility turn you blind? Okay, so you only have 2 minutes to discuss this one, teams, and away you go. Why does invisibility turn you blind?
The question is sort of, you know, stated as like a matter of fact, you know this, like, but why?
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember those scenes in Harry Potter where he puts on the cape and just bumps into walls everywhere he goes, but
right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems it's worded very matter-of-factly. So we'll check in and see whether the teams know more than us.
Wait, this isn't the body anymore, is it?
Anyway.
This is like physics or something. But I'm assuming invisibility turn you blind. I'm just thinking that this has something to do with the fact that it's when something is invisible, then that means that your photoreceptors in your eyes aren't picking it up. But that's from a purely anatomical one. Is this anatomy? I'm so confused.
Man, all type of thing is never been, you know, he'd just be stumbling about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this. We can turn this into a picture. I'll draw an
Oh,
eyeball.
nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
What if someone else is invisible? Does that affect you in any way?
Yes, I can hear you. You just disappeared for a bit.
All right. Yassine and Lauren, can you hear each other?
No, we can't. But I think I know.
I can
If
see
you are
Yassine.
invisible, that
I
means
can't see
that.
him.
All right.
I think I have the answer. If you are invisible, that means that light just go through you. So you're
yes.
transparent. So
Yep, let's go with that.
there's no like
Love it.
even your neural.
I can lip read.
What is it called?
Alrighty, back to us. Teams are coming in. All right, team 3. Team 3 is coming back. Let's hear your answer. Why does invisibility turn you blind?
Oh, you're starting with us. Well, we think because if you are invisible, that means that light actually needs to go through and transfer and come through all the other side. And if you are invisible, there is nothing to stop the light that's forming the image that you are supposed to see, and that means the light just passed through like a glass, and that's how you turn blind.
Okay. Sounds legit. I'm not a physicist. I don't know. What about team 1?
Yeah, what about team 1? That's a great question.
We're going to go with the fact that in order to see something, you need to have be able to be received from your photoreceptors in your eyes. So if it's invisible, then obviously you're not getting any of the information back from your context. So that means that there's nothing to be received by the photoreceptors in your eyes, I think. That's
Right,
as
so
far as
sort of
we
like-
got with our invisibility of our question.
Like with children and just like, oh, I can't see you, so you're gone. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yep. Alrighty, and team 2. Why does invisibility turn you blind or make you blind?
Joanne, do you want to go?
Well, if you look at our clever board, which is, to be honest, the worst picture I've ever drawn ever, if you are not invisible, you therefore have an eye, which means you therefore have a retina at the back of your eye, which will allow for light to bounce off it, and that's how you see. And if you are invisible, you have no eye and then no retina, and then the light will just go straight off into oblivion. I didn't have to drawing.
No, we drew it. Well, Duan drew it.
Lovely diagram there. Yeah, well, the answer we've got is that in order to be invisible, you need to bend or distort the light around you, which means that none of it would reach your eyes. And they certainly didn't feature that one in Harry Potter every time the trio used the invisibility cloak, as Kayla and I were sort of mentioning. And light passing through your eyes, which is, you know, what one of the team said, is correct as well. If the light can't reach your eyes, you can't see. So that's also true. Alrighty, well done everyone. That was a quick fire question. And moving on to question 8. Spaceborne 1, a supercomputer launched by NASA, successfully computed 1 teraflop per second for 207 days. Gaddy, Australia's largest supercomputer, runs at 9.2 petaflop per second. So how long will it take Gaddy to compute the same amount of info as Spaceborne did in 207 days? That seems like a lot of maths to me.
With the teams going, it was funny watching around the circle. All the teams like, what? What's trying to work it out, and then Shazad just sitting there like, oh yeah,
I got
cool as
this.
a cucumber.
I got this.
Yeah. So I reckon they'd be a good group to check in on and see they're working out.
Yeah, okay, no, this is fine. So it's like 207. So can you write this here?
Do you want me to write as you talk?
Yeah, I don't know how to write. Okay. So
writing?
it's, yeah, it's 207 times, okay, how many seconds are there in the day? It's 3600 times 3600 times 24.
3,600 times 24.
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm.
And then divided by 9260.
Yeah.
Times 6.
Yeah, it's close to 10,000.
So it's second. It's got to go to minutes, and then got to go to hours, and then got to go to days. And then that basically is 207 days. And then we got we got to take it to,
because a gigabyte, so tera is a trillion. And then I'm assuming a peta is a single unit of measurement. So whether it's 1,000 or a trillion, but basically if you just divide them, then that's 108 days. If you're assuming that peta is a single unit and tera is 1,000 of them, right? So it's,
Peta is
I guess it's that I don't,
tera is 1,000 of them. Yes.
So then
Can
that would be
confirm.
108 because that's what I've just divided it on my phone. So I'm assuming.
Excellent.
So if a peta, I'm assuming peta is a single.
I'm gonna read it
unit.
out to my peanut gallery in the kitchen here. Question 8 is Spaceborne 1, a supercomputer launched by NASA, successfully computed 1 teraflop per second for 207 days. Gardy, Australia's largest supercomputer, runs at 9.26 petaflops per second. How long will it take Gardy to compute the same amount?
Are you calling a
information
friend
as
at the
Spaceborne
moment,
did
Team
in
1?
207 days. So it's an equation based on
Team 1, you can't call a friend.
Are worth.
You remember, you can ask for
Yeah.
Yay, beers!
Team one.
Yo,
You hear us?
Hi.
thanks for dropping by.
Did you get an extra team
I
member?
am here.
No, I
Um,
don't think so. I think Joseph has this one in
Oh no, I'm
hand.
pretty sure this is wrong. I'm so confused.
I've been offering
We're gonna go this way.
neutral, supportive, encouraging sounds.
Yeah. Can you remind us the categories just so that we're in like the right frame of science?
Well, this was atoms to galaxies, so yeah, we're thinking about like maths, chemistry, physics, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, fun times.
Orders of magnitude.
But I can give you a hint if you want to use your one hint on this question.
How do you feel, Joseph?
What's the next category?
Joseph, I feel like you kind of like you were on this. I mean, not that I would know.
Oh, I literally have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just going with the typical, if you speak with conviction, then somebody will believe you.
This is the last question from this category, and then the next round is our society.
Okay, let's let's hang in there and just get flogged on.
No, but Joseph,
Whatever this is.
society is your bag, bro. Like, that is where you're at. You don't need assistance with that.
Oh, let's see
Not
what
that you-
happens. I feel like there's still many questions to go.
There'll be 3 after this.
Oh,
Awesome.
lovely.
We're rolling.
Excellent. Like a Band-Aid.
Or 4. Maybe it's 4.
Like a shot. Like
Can
a
I
shot.
count? This is why I'm not a mathematician.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. They are slowly going to start coming back in. Team one, you are the first here. That means you are the lucky ones to start us off. Team one, if you can hear me, do you want to tell us your answer to start?
Oh, we
Go
wish
on.
we paid attention to IT in high school. But anyways, we're going with Tara is 1,000. So based on our lovely mathematical skills, we're doing is 1,000 divided by 9.26, which comes out to 107.99 days.
Interesting. We'll go with team
It's
two.
11 seconds.
Team two next. We'll go to you guys.
Yeah, so we thought that Terra is 10 power 12 and Peta is 10 power 15. And so the answer should be 207 times the number of seconds in one day, which is 3,600 times 24. And then you divide it by 9.26 times 10 power 3 because Terra is 10 power 12 and Peta is 10 power 15. So the answer should be 1,931 seconds, around 32 minutes.
Very good. Thank you, Shazar. We'll go to team three.
Well, we think what the other teams missed is the 9.926 factor. And I think that adds up to about, what's that? 32 minutes and a few seconds.
11 seconds?
That's probably right. I agree.
All right, awesome. Thank you, teams. Now I will go through the answer for you guys. So obviously I'm just going to be doing this in my head, so bear with me here. I'm not really going to be reading anything. But if I can remember correctly, Spaceborne, 1 teraflop per second. Well, sorry, let me start with 1 petaflop is equal to 1,000 teraflop. So the answer is Spaceborne 1 teraflop per second times by 60 seconds times by 60 minutes times by 24 hours times by 207 days is equal to 17,884,800 teraflop. 1 petaflop equals 1,000 teraflop. So that number that I just said earlier divided by 1,000 is equal to 17,884.8 petaflop. That number that I just said divided by 9.26 petaflop is equal to 1,931.4 seconds. 1,900, the number I just said, divided by 60 is equal to 32.19 minutes, or 32 and 11 seconds. They got it. Well done, Team 2. And Team 3, I think you got it as well. So well done to you two there. Fantastic effort. That was amazing. Clearly an absolute mathematical wizards on your team. So that brings us to the end of round 2. So starting from the bottom, unfortunately, we've got Team Outliers is on 12 points. Well done to Team Outliers. Then sitting in second place, we've got Team Blood Moons on 20. And then Team Dead Livers sitting on top on 21. So it's a very, very tight race at the top. Team Outliers, I reckon you can do some catching up here in this last round as well. So don't worry, it's everybody's game. Now, round 3 is based on our society. So it covers law, history, politics, policy, and languages, and planet Earth, which includes geosciences, plant sciences, zoology, and possibly entomology. So, Team 1, you are still with us. So, let's go. Question 9. It's popping up there. What is the furthest one human being has ever been from every other living person? So, what is the furthest one human being has ever been from every other living person? Off you go.
I feel like
Sorry to cut you off there.
into the room they go.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been a bit isolated of late, feeling a bit alone.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this is one everyone can relate to recently.
Yep. I think this round we're gonna be going in with some bothers though.
Mm-hmm. Try
We'll
and
see how that
throw
way.
some teams off.
Yep.
In the ocean, you can get further away from humankind than you actually are when orbiting on the space station. And I can only hope to God that that is what they actually mean, because
Yeah.
Is further than, I don't know, someone being on the
Hey.
Hi, Katriana.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
Oh, which one to pick? Okay. Name the 6 planets in our solar system named after male gods. Go.
Jupiter.
Mercury.
Mars.
Hear me?
Jupiter.
Saturn.
Uranus.
Neptune.
Ding,
That's
ding,
it,
ding.
isn't it?
That was
Pluto.
6.
But that's
Yeah.
technically not a planet.
Pluto, Pluto's not a planet.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
I think we have enough, right? We have enough.
we get?
Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune.
Yep.
Yeah.
You said 6?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Basically, everyone apart from Venus. So.
Yeah.
I'm just, trying to eat up into your time because you're too far ahead.
Oh, right. Okay. we have to get back to the original question. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they're called a bother.
Ah.
All right.
All right. Hello, Team 3. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just
All
see if
right.
Lauren can hear you. We've got no Lauren, but
Yep.
I can hear you.
No, you've got me. Cool. All right. Now, I've got a quick bother for you. So you have to answer within about 20 seconds. So
No problem.
really quickly, can you list 6 cell organelles, not including the cell wall / membrane? Ready, set, go. One.
Mitochondria, the ribosome.
Mitochondria.
Then the
Yep.
nucleus.
You see,
No,
can't
nucleus.
hear
2.
you.
The ribosome.
Yep, ribosome.
Oh, you
That's
see?
3. What was that one, sorry?
The microtubules.
And the plasma that's
Ooh, I
all
haven't got that
around
one
it,
yet.
and the
Not
Nucleus.
not including the cell
phosphate
wall
with
/
bilayer
membrane.
count?
The nucleus.
Oh, it doesn't count the cell
It's not
membrane.
an organelle. No, I'm afraid that's all I got.
Oh, the goal guy?
Yeah, that's 4.
Gold
Oh, out of
for us.
time. Out of time. Sorry, you needed 6.
Damn.
You needed 6. I apologize. It's our overlords at the back. They are rough. I only heard 4
While
personally.
we're in this
All right,
land.
there we go.
I feel
We're
you.
out.
I feel
We're
you.
out. Well done.
You this time, me next time. I'll answer this. I'll answer this question if we swing back.
Yeah, no worries. We'll
I'll say
fine.
that Joseph's hiding under the duvet.
Yeah, pretty much just might not come back. I'll just leave the camera ominously staring at my wall.
Alrighty, back to the 2 of us.
Yeah, just 2.
The bother
Hopefully we
didn't
can
work.
see. Well, it did in mine. They didn't get it right with my bother. They were adequately or suitably bothered, I hope. We'll see. We'll find out.
So was
Alrighty.
that when he orbited the back?
Yeah.
We're hearing an answer from one team. I don't know who's talking, but continue on with your answer. Who was just talking about orbiting?
Oh, that
that
was
was
me.
us. That was us.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
so
your answer?
So the furthest one human being has been from every other living being would be probably Michael Collins on the orbiter of the Apollo 11 mission when Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong went down to the surface, and he orbited the moon and was on the farthest side of the moon. Basically, that is the furthest from any human being you can possibly be. So they were in an orbit of about, I don't know, something like 190 kilometers altitude from the moon. And that's plus the 385,000 kilometers, something like that, from Earth. And you add to that 200 kilometers, that is the furthest anyone has been. Obviously, he's not the only one. In subsequent Apollo missions, other people stayed on the orbiters and they have been just as far as Buzz Aldrin been. Sorry, Michael Collins.
Thank you, Yassine. All right, Neil and Shazad, you were nodding a lot. So group 2, I'm guessing that your answer is quite similar. Yeah, you got a picture of the moon there.
I mean, it's pretty much the same answer.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And team 1.
Right. So we are done with your nonsense. So hear me out. So I know that when you are sailing across the ocean, you can be a greater distance from land, and if we read that as other human beings, you're a greater distance from other human beings than the International Space Station in its orbit. So if we take it as true that other people have always been on all of the moon landing missions, and there are always multiple people on the International Space Station, then a solo round-the-world yachter will be further from any other living person than anybody else ever. I think given the logical proviso that we have warmed the other people up and they have been proven alive.
Sweet callback. Alrighty, thanks everyone. So yeah, we had a couple of answers actually that we listed as possibilities. So teams 2 and 3, astronauts, yes. Most likely the 6 Apollo Command Module pilots who stayed in lunar orbit during the moon landing. Like you've said, Mike Collins for Apollo 11. Because each of those astronauts stayed alone in the command module while the other 2 were on the moon. And so at the highest point of their orbit, they were actually about 3,585 kilometers from their fellow astronauts, so quite far away. But going with team 1's answer, Polynesians saying to new lands, it's hard to get 3,585 kilometers from a permanently inhabited place, but the Polynesians, who were the first humans to spread across the Pacific, might have managed it. And that would, as you said, have required a lone sailor to travel awfully far ahead of everyone else, and may have happened by accident, like with a storm, but we're unlikely to ever know for sure. And our third option was the Antarctic explorers, because the Scott expedition reached the South Pole in 1911, only to discover that they weren't the first. The Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen had beaten them there by several months, but Scott's expedition, when they began their trek back to the coast, all of them died when crossing the Ross ice shelf. So the last surviving expedition member would have likely been, briefly, one of the most isolated people on Earth. So a bit morbid, but there we go. I think all of you get the points there. Moving on to question 10. How many elements from the periodic table have symbols not derived from the English name for the element, and what are they? So we'll throw you into the rooms and you can discuss that question.
Cool, and away they go. This is easily my weakest suit of science. I am no good with chemistry, but how about you, Catriona?
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that there are multiple periodic table songs, but I think the one that I know only goes up to 20, so it doesn't really help.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how the teams are doing. Maybe they're better than us here.
Once we work this magic out.
Yeah.
Hey, cheating.
I don't know what the name of that
Wait,
was.
what do we need? We
How
need.
many elements from the periodic table have symbols not derived from the English name?
So we
Lead,
don't actually
PB?
need the Latin name.
Yeah, because PB comes from plumbus.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start writing it somewhere. Ah, we have a sticky note. Okay.
So
Thinking of names, yeah.
Gold's AU.
AU.
Yeah.
PB for
Lead.
for lead.
It's not. Is it potassium's K?
It's no, it's plum, I think.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
we got AU for ores. We got PB. Iron.
And potassium's K. Yeah.
Fe,
Iron's Fe.
Yes.
Keep going, Lauren.
We got the iron, Fe. Helium, hydrogen.
Mercury's Ag, isn't it?
Yes.
Wait.
Are we allowed to have a picture of the periodic table here?
Yeah. Add more.
All right, teams are coming
Potassium as well, which is no,
that's K, yeah.
That's K, yeah. So that would work. Oh, can we do that? How did you get that in there?
I don't know, I just found it, but it's
I don't think that's allowed.
That's cheating.
I think that's cheating.
Welcome back, teams.
That's cheating.
Hang on, what's going on there?
I'm just reminding ourselves
We've got some cheats among
what they
us.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, you got tungsten as well. Well, I know them too.
Rubidium.
Well, let's start with Team 2, the big cheaters. Take it away, Team 2.
Cheaters.
We listed out quite a few even before we saw the periodic table. The ones that you see there.
Yeah.
That's Duan. That's Duan
Yeah,
for you.
right,
Thank you,
right.
John. Yeah.
Start us off, Team 2. Someone take it away.
We've got we've got iron, gold, antium, silver, mercury, tin, lead, potassium. You got sodium, which is Na, as well. Yeah, so we had those listed before we got that table.
This doesn't have any names in
Yeah.
here. This was simply to remind us of the Year 7 science that we should have clearly learned. And my science teacher was like, fail.
All right.
So I don't know how many
let's
there was we
go.
got.
Team 1, do you want to read out what you had?
I know how to label every single piece of anatomy in a genital dissection of a geometrid moth. This is like you smarter than a 5th grader. No, I don't know what the denominator is anymore, but I do my own tax returns.
That's good.
Thank
That
you,
is
Team
adulting.
1. Team 3, did you have a list of answers? Oh, they're up on the... Oh, there we go. There we go. Team 3 had gold, lead, and...
Oh no, some of them are missing. So we also, oh no, yes, some of them are missing.
We got some of them written
We
up
also
here.
had, yeah, we had mercury and iron
Silver.
and Ag, but we couldn't remember. Potassium's there, yep.
Silver.
Silver, yep.
Beautiful. All right, we'll go through the answers quickly here. So we had ones that a lot of you said. So sodium, Na, natrium, potassium, K for kalium, which is me, iron, Fe, ferrum, copper, Cu, cuprum, silver, Ag, argentum, tin, Sn, stannum, antimony, Sb, stibium, tungsten, W, wolfram, gold, Au, aurum, mercury, Hg, that one, lead, Pb, plumbum. So there you go. Well done if you got 11. Well done if you were able to read the periodic table that was up there as well. All right, we'll move on to question 11 nice and quick here. So question 11, can you match these marine larvae to their adult counterparts? So we'll let you break off into your teams here. Can you match these marine larvae to their adult counterparts? As the teams all slowly join their respective rooms. No is my answer to this.
Also, we just want to point out to everyone who's watching at home and potentially invested in this that Team 2 is getting docked 1 point for using that periodic table.
That'll show them.
But as for this question, I don't know, everything just looks tiny.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing looks familiar. They look like jellyfish.
What are we matching?
One sort of looks like an acorn.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Underwater
So there's a
acorn.
list.
Happening.
So these larvae come from. We've got to
sea
choose
urchin, coral.
sea
Okay, hold on.
urchin, coral, prawn, snail, and abalone. And there's like a lady in a ring. So
okay, wait. I'm going to make the post-its while you think about where that post-it should go.
Snails is definitely is C. So snails can go above C. I think corals might be A. I think corals might be A.
Snails. Okay, wait. So you're saying marine snails is C?
I think so. Just going by look.
We're gonna roll with that.
B is a monster. Sea urchin, coral, prawn. I feel like D might be prawn.
Am I missing one? Prawn.
Marine snails and abalone. Oof.
I feel like this is which one might be a prawn? Oops.
I feel like
prawn here or here?
Sea urchin, coral, prawn, snail, abalone. So one of them.
Abalone, marine snails, prawn, coral, eh?
Yeah, I think
That
it is a
looks like
good guess.
spawn, doesn't it? Sea urchin.
It does.
Sea urchins is E, maybe?
Yeah, it doesn't, because it doesn't look like it has form.
Okay, can we make a sticky note of this?
That's where my knowledge comes to an end.
Sea urchin might be A or no.
Oh, actually, A might be coral and E might be sea urchin.
You reckon?
Because, you know, when the corals spawn, they look like that orange.
So what's B?
B, that would mean B is 3, 2. Oh, marine snail. That's not a marine snail.
B looks a little bit too vicious to be a sea urchin. Like, that can't be right.
Yeah, I reckon E might be a sea urchin.
Hang on, we got 2 corals.
Alrighty, as they're coming back in, everyone has had a chance to see the answers of the teams on the jam boards. So instead of going around and asking everyone to share their answers with us, I'll just go straight into the answer. So A is planula or coral, and this one actually pictured here is a branched coral that's been looking into for reef restoration, which is super cool. B is Plutus or the sea urchin, and this particular one is often used as an edible sea urchin, so there you go. C is Veliger or a mollusk, and that's what it is in its adult form. D is Zoea, which is prawn, and these ones come from the black tiger prawn. So if you've ever got prawns from Coles or Woolies, it's likely these ones that you've been eating. And E is a trochophore, which is the larvae form of an abalone. Or abalone.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. So well done, everyone. And just moving on to question 12. Alrighty, this is the last question. If everyone on Earth submerged themselves in the ocean, what landmarks or cities would go underwater? I feel like this one might need a little bit of maths as well.
Definitely. There's been a few maths questions in there, hasn't there? So
yeah.
Maybe Shazad's working his mathematical magic there. I'd like to know. I'd like to know what scenario it is where we all had to jump into the water at the same time. I feel like that'd be an interesting hypothetical.
Yeah, because I was looking at something recently, which is, if a volcano erupts, do you run? Do you jump into the water? Do you do whatever? And I don't think jumping into the water is a good idea. So that wouldn't be the scenario.
There, so we'll rule that one out.
Yeah.
So not in a volcanic situation. Don't go in the water. I think that narrows it down. We'll check in with the teams to see if they're talking about volcanoes.
Essentially, it comes down to it's a global warming question without being a global warming question, right? So what cities or landmarks is basically all of the Netherlands would go under, New York would go under.
Bangladesh. Let's just make some little post-it notes.
What about Sydney or any of those things? How quickly can we knock them off?
No, that's a pretty good idea.
That's only as big as an esky. I reckon you need at least 2 eskies to fit a body into. If I needed to put a body in an esky, that is.
But
What is the volume of a human?
I did those calculations once in a car, traveling to the field. It was very morbid.
I think it's not the volume that matters, it's probably the displacement.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be based on the average weight of a human. So what's the average weight of a human, if you guys know?
No, the displacement's based on volume, not on weight, isn't it?
But I mean,
centimeters cube. And then we want... What do we want? Do we want it in meter cube?
Yeah, but then you've got to work out what that terms, how much water is in the oceans now as well.
No, you don't need to, right? You only need to see how far up it goes. So
yeah.
So is that maths right? I've had a beer. Probably not. 8 5's 40. Plus
no, that's
the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I'm thinking New York, Montreal, all of these are quite coastal. I think you'd end up with like Sydney Harbor would probably, I don't think it would be underwater. Oh, it's saying underwater. What landmarks and cities would actually be underwater, not touching? So when you think about like different monuments.
The Opera House.
Yeah, I would
Oh, no, wait. The Opera House's steps.
Yeah.
Just go and play it safe.
It could probably be worse than that, actually. But yeah.
Every person. Yeah.
Every
it's like
person. So we're looking at billions of people entering, and they're basically.
Right. So 70%. And what's the Earth's surface area? It's 4 pi r.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So for our final question of the night, let's start with Team 3. What did you guys have?
None.
Can you explain a little bit why?
Probably not enough women to cause that sort of displacement.
That's fair enough. Well, Team 2.
We got trapped in calculating how much volume would be displaced,
So,
and then trying to work that out, what that would be. We sort of know roughly what places go underwater with rising temperatures and stuff, which would be like, you know, Florida and, you know, Venice would go under, all those, and the Seychelles would disappear, a lot of the islands. But whether, like it's been said already, whether that's enough volume to actually displace or put it up a bit. Yeah.
So I'll just add to that. I'll say if everyone goes underwater, then we stop emitting carbon dioxide, and so climate change doesn't happen, and then most things don't go underwater. So
we have a nasty habit of ruining every environment we occupy.
Yeah, that's going to be one nasty sea, isn't it? Really?
Here we are. Who knew we would be coming up with solutions to climate change tonight? But we have. So, Team 1, do you want to take us away for our final answer? Anyone from Team 1?
Joseph seems to be occupied. So, I mean, we just wish to protest that these are maths questions with a costume on. But we fell to the same places that are imperiled by climate change: Montreal, New York, Bangladesh, all the islands and atolls. But as far as actual monuments that would go underwater, we considered the Sydney Opera House steps and the hem of the Statue of Liberty. But not going to be bolder than that.
Awesome, thank you. Now, Team 2, I'm just going to go back to you very quickly. I need a solid answer. What's going underwater?
None. What do you think?
None. Okay, thank you.
Duan? Yeah. Because that 400, we said 400 billion litres, and it's a tremendous. Is that a drop in the ocean?
Yes. So pretty much moving to the answer.
Okay.
Team 2 and 3, you are correct. It is none. It will basically be a drop in the ocean, albeit a 7-8 billion drops, but minuscule drops at that. I'm not going to go through all of the calculations, but yes, it is none. It will barely do anything. But that was our last question.
Done.
So there you go. Well done, everyone.
Yay, well done. And
yes, good stuff.
We know, while we're waiting for the tallying to go on, we know that you've all been playing along eagerly at home, and we are happy to announce the winning public team scored a total of 37 points. Congratulations to Marie and their team. Well done, yay. Pint of Science will be in contact with you regarding claiming your prizes. So well done. All right, now Let's see the final scores of our scientist teams. Oh, actually, looking at these points, I'm just going to say, Marie and your team, you scored higher than any of the science teams. So just putting it out there. Okay, so in order of team number, so not point number, we've got final scores of our science team. Team Outliers with 18 points. Team Dead Livers with 33.5 points. And then Team Blood Moons with, oh, that's just been changed. Ah! Oh gosh, things are, what? Everything's just been changing. Okay, all right, Team Outliers with 18 points, Team Dead Livers with 31 points, and then Team Blood Moons with 33.5 points. Alrighty, woo, well done. Just also want to point out that the public team did have a week to put their answers in, so scientists don't feel too bad. Sometimes we only gave you 2 minutes, so you know they had a lot longer time. So congratulations to Team 2.
Yeah.
Well done, well done.
Thank you, everyone. It was good, good fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for organizing
Congrats.
this.
That's okay. More time can't fix a wrong answer.
Congrats, Blood Moons, which actually kind of fits with tonight, but you know.
Yeah, go out there. It's tonight, 9 o'clock. It's supposed to be the best viewing time for it.
I have full intentions. I'm howling at the moon
Which is
and
now.
looking at my neighbours.
Well, there you go. So we won't leave you. We won't keep you for too much longer. So thank you to everyone who participated and tuned in tonight. We hope you learned some science. I know I certainly did here. And we'd also like to thank everyone who helped organise the event. So I know I was bullying them before. They are behind-the-scenes overlords, but they're the ones who put this event together and the Pint of Science Festival as a whole. So well done. Claps to you guys, and thank you very much. But before we go, I did mention at the start of the show that we will be having a little song from the singing scientist herself, Catriona. So before we finish up the night, I'm going to pass over to Catriona, and she's going to treat us to a song she wrote.
Thanks, Kale. All right. This one incorporates all of the answers, so that's why it has to be now. You couldn't hear it at the beginning. Alrighty. In languages across the globe, murmur and papa sound the same, and the sensory homunculus gives insights into the brain. If you die of hypothermia, you might come back to life, but eat too many carrots and you might end up in strife. Some periodic table elements are derived from Latin, being transition metals seems to be their pattern. To measure a toilet paper roll without unrolling it, turns out a piece of string should be part of your toolkit. That wraps up the Big Science Show. We hope you learned things that you didn't know. 3 teams were quizzed on science facts while Kale and I put on an act. When playing Tats Lotto, pick your numbers with care, so that if you win, you won't have to share. If you were invisible, you wouldn't be able to see, and the NASA supercomputer is more powerful than Gaudi. To be far from people, go to the Antarctic or the moon, or be a Polynesian sailor who got marooned. When matching marine larvae to adults, it's hard to make a call. If everyone jumped into the ocean, it wouldn't rise at all. That wraps up the Big Science Show. We hope you learned things that you didn't know. 3 teams were quizzed on science facts while Kale and I put on an act. How much science fun did we have? A whole pint. We've been learning science facts throughout the night. We hope those of you at home had lots of fun as we watch the best thinkers of 2021.
Woo! Some blood moon has. Thank you so much, Catriona. Before we go, that was amazing, wasn't it? So I hope you guys love that at home. That was absolutely unreal. Before we do go, as a registered not-for-profit, Pint of Science is like powered by volunteers. So all of you guys at home, we rely on the community to donate to keep the science going. So your donation will enable future Pint of Science events to make science accessible to all. And so if you are interested in donating, please head to our website. We're at pintofscience.com.au. then /donate. So you guys can head there if you enjoyed tonight. If you want to see more of these events, please head to that website and you can make a donation. But I hope you enjoyed the night, and I hope you enjoyed the rest of the Pint of Science Festival. So thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you learned something.
We sure did. Bye.
Bye.